You guys ready for some more playoff basketball? Welcome back to the Road to NBA 2K21 series here on the Next Gen. Us Pelicans, we took down the Nuggets in a legendary Game 4 last time out. Definitely go back and watch that if you got the time because all hell broke loose. But pretty soon in this episode, we'll be finding out who will be greeting us in the conference semifinals, the Clippers or the Lakers. I'm going to do this video a little different. I jammed 4 games in the Nuggets video and it went almost an hour long. So today I'll play 2 games of the second round in this episode, then 2 more the next 2K21 episode. And if it comes down to 1 game winner take all, I'll live stream it. Donovan's Blazers, they swept the Rockets, so they've already punched their ticket to the next round. Now we got to see if Deshaun's Mavericks and Fran's Lakers can follow suit. The Mavs are up 2-1 on Utah, 1 more game away from the second round. Meanwhile, Ferran is down 2-1 to the Clippers. And thanks to 74 team points as a squad in the latter half of the game, Deshaun and his Dallas Mavs, they coast to the second round 112-90. Porzingis and Doncic were on, and Deshaun was a stat sheet stuffer. How about 18, 10, 5 assists, 5 steals, and a block? So now let's change our focus as the Lakers try to stay alive at home against the 2-seeded Clippers. And as you can see, the Lakers had a huge lead, but now they're in the second half, they're trying to hold off the Clippers as they're storming back, and they actually take the lead with 127 left to go. So in the middle of a bloodbath of a game, the Clippers find themselves up 1. Ferran is back against the wall, and this is the first time we've really seen Ferran be an alpha dog. We've always seen him be a shoot first player, but this is the first time in his career where it's really putting him up there with some of the best names at the 2-guard positioning in the entire NBA. 60% from the field, 23 points a game, 60% from beyond the arc, and immediately after we hop in, he will take this on Pat Bev high off of the window, and Ferran gives the Lakers the lead. That's his 21st and 22nd point of the affair. He's got 4 3-pointers as well this ball game as Kawhi, such a good mid-range shooter, but that one's off the mark. So now the Lakers with the lead and the possession with 34 ticks left to go in the ball game. Ferran taking his time, he's got Zubac on him as he takes a fadeaway 3. How about 3-pointer number 5 for Ferran Nadim? How about 25 for him on the ball game as he's trying to carry these Lakers to a second round berth. Ever since the Lakers won their championship 2 years ago, we've seen them falling off a little bit, but here is Paul George for a 3 to keep the Clippers in it, down by 1, 22 seconds left, and I was very surprised to see Ferran get subbed out in favor of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, meaning LeBron gets fouled and he misses the first free throw. Definitely a head-scratching move. Why wouldn't you want Ferran, your best offensive player and best free throw shooter, out there with 21 seconds left? LeBron does at least make 1. He's averaging 18 and 10 assists this series, only around 35% from the field. So Father Time catching up to Bron a little bit quicker here in the virtual 2K series. Now we got 14 seconds left. Paul George has been the best player for the Clippers today. 19 points, 4 steals, and the game-tying layup. 97 apiece with 9.7 left to go. LeBron runs it up the other way to keep the Lakers alive. 3 seconds left. LeBron step back in the face of PG. Just a tad long, however. And as we cut to overtime, let's jump. 103-101. This time the Lakers find themselves facing a deficit with a couple ticks left. Ferran does find himself back out on the floor as Paul George receives a screen for 3 off balance. A little long as Ferran clears it. And now he's rushing it back up the other way. A little take on Pat Bev. A little long, however. Unfortunately, could not get the roll, but I like the conviction on the take. And now Kawhi will take Marc Gasol, double clutch, and he throws it off the bottom of the rim. Great help side defense from LeBron, forcing Kawhi into an errant layup. And now Ferran for the tie. He has that blocked by Pat Bev, but he does regain possession. 15 seconds left. LeBron and Ferran running a pick and roll. And how about LeBron delivering a nice pass? There's assist number 7 for him on the night to go with his 18 points. And Ferran is up to 27. 103-103. Let's jump to overtime number 2 as the Clippers couldn't manage much on their last possession of the first extra period. 1:15 left to go. Once again, the Lakers down 2. Ferran stopped there, gives it to Lonzo, who's been playing hurt this series, as he gives it to LeBron for the lead, and that one just rims out. Some tough rims here the Lakers are dealing with down the stretch. 60 seconds left to go here in the second overtime period. Paul George has been really good today. He receives a screen off balance. This one will tickle the twine. And this is the biggest lead the Clippers have had in any overtime period of 5 with 50 seconds left to go. Now Kawhi body checking Ferran. This one works around to LeBron. 43 seconds left. Kick out to Lonzo, who's playing hurt, but he still knocks it down. Lonzo Ball, who finds himself still in the Lakers all this time here on the road to NBA 2K21 with a huge shot there. And if the Lakers can just manage to stop here, they'll be in good position. A stop and a score, and they could go for the tie, and that's what they get there. Marc Gasol with a huge rebound. The Lakers have one timeout left. It doesn't look like they're going to use it. What a pass from Lonzo. LeBron off the mark for the lead. No. Oh, I want to play Ferran in the next round, but it doesn't look good as they're starting to play the free throw game down by 5. 6 seconds left. Rui for 3 as Hachimura with another huge tray ball for the Lakers. Keeps them around, and they would foul Serge Ibaka, and the first one is through. And if Ibaka can make this second free throw, that'll be the nail in the coffin for the Lakers as the Clippers will move on. Ibaka, second free throw. That one's short. Rebound Gasol. Up to Lonzo. This is for the tie. Oh! Lonzo so close from hitting the shot of the decade, but it just rimmed out. Oh man. I wanted to play the Lakers so bad, and if they took it to a third overtime to extend the series, that would have been something else. Lonzo's so close, and Ferran is heartbroken. He's been increasingly more and more unhappy ever since the Lakers won that championship back a couple seasons ago. But now we look towards the second round. The Pelicans trying to play spoilers once again. Let's hop into the second round of the NBA playoffs in Los Angeles.
I'ma fuck up my life. I'ma fuck up my life. We gon' party all night. She don't care if I die. You're right, you're right. Yeah, I bet you won't cry. Yeah, I bet you won't try. But you know I don't mind. But you know I don't mind. You're right, you're right.
Not having home court advantage this series will definitely be a bit of a disadvantage because, as you all know, we were dominant at home this season with the second best home record in the entire NBA, but only around 500 on the away side of things, and we had 2 huge wins in Denver last series, so we'll see how big of an advantage it is for the Clippers. And one guy we got to talk about is Aaron Catley. He really struggled in the closeout game of last series, 1 of 11 shooting, but he starts out with a make here. But to be honest, Catley had a good start to the Denver series, but his struggles weren't only limited to game 5 as I'm drawing the foul on Pat Bev. I got to use his overzealous defense against him in this series. But yeah, Catley averaged 12, but he shot 29% from the floor, 28% from 3, made 2.5 out of every 9 attempts, so maybe we're going to see him in more of a limited role, who knows, as Kawhi checks me on this possession behind the back. How about that tough floater, and I get it to drop. So, 4 quick points for me, 2 from the free throw line, and 2 on the reigning Defensive Player of the Year award winner, Kawhi Leonard. 10-8 game as Paul George is having a lot of early success as he's matched up against Otto Porter, and as you can see at the bottom of your screen, 8 points for Paul George out of the Clippers' first 10. About halfway to go here in the first half as Catley fires again. This one's a little long. He had that early 3, but ever since then, Catley's missed his last 5 shots. He's put up a lot of attempts here in the early goings. Now running a quick pick and roll between me and AD. Going up for the lob is the unibrow with the reverse. Coming off a series where he had 24 points a game, 13 rebounds, 58% from the floor. And as we jump to the second quarter, only down by 5. Plenty of time to go to retake this lead. I'll receive the pass on the first offensive possession here in the second quarter, but turnovers have been a bit of a problem for not only this game, but for the entirety of this playoff run. Averaged a little bit over 4 turnovers a game, which isn't that bad considering my assist tallies, but at the same time, it's not something I'm exactly proud of. The Clippers slowly yet surely building on this lead as Kawhi loses me on this possession as well. He lost track of me after the dribble handoff between Catley and I, and there's field goal number 2, 6 points, 2 assists, 2 turnovers for me so far this ball game. 2 seconds left as now Reggie Jackson fires just ahead of the shot clock. Cannot hit. Otto Porter delivers me the outlet pass, still down 7 behind the back move on Pat Bev. Hop step, little handoff to the unibrow, drawing the bump plus the foul and the basket while he's at it. So a 3-point play opportunity for Anthony Davis. He was huge here in the first half. He ended the first half with 14 points. 36-40, and that's not helping our cause either. That's a turnover number 3 as Kawhi takes it away. I just wanted to reset the offense, but I got a little bit too complacent there. I gotta remember what type of defensive team we're playing today. We're 6th in the NBA in least points allowed, and the Clippers are just in front of us at 5. But I get that steal right back on Kawhi. A little step back move. There goes Lou Will, falling all the way to the baseline, and I add another victim to my crossover list. Step back, Lou Will loses me. And it's kind of crazy because normally Lewis Williams is the one making the defenders look silly, but now he's the one that's looking lost. And somehow I got lucky enough to not get blocked from behind by Serge Ibaka, and of course on the very next trip up the floor for the Clippers, Lou Will, sweet Lou Will, trying to go right back at me, and I do everything I can, but sometimes that veteran point guard Lewis Williams, he's just too shifty, too crafty. So 44-38 now, coming off a screen is Marcos Silva, the hero from last game, but that's no good, and I don't know what Jahlil Okafor is trying to do here, passing out of his shot, and then he tries to do it again. Both of them got deflected, and now the Clippers once again record another steal. Paul George with not a lot of space, and he still nets it. So, New Orleans, only with 18 points, a lot of turnovers to boot. We're the best team in the NBA in least turnovers a game, but we have looked very out of character so far as a team, especially on offense. As Uzata Silva chucks up a shot, it hits nothing but air as we dwindle the clock down, less than 3 minutes left to play. And we're looking for a stop here. We get that stop on Paul George. AD with the outlet to myself as I'm guarded by Nick Batum, and then sliding over for the help is Paul George. He draws the charge, and everything just turns to even worse fortune for us as we're down by 17 all of a sudden heading into the half. And all of a sudden, this dream start, I mean, it seemed like a dream start considering how highly touted the Clippers are and that we're playing this game on the road. It's quickly turned into a nightmare all of a sudden. The bench didn't help matters at the end of the half. Like the Denver series, it looks like we're going to be starting another playoff series with a deficit if we can't turn things around today. Just like the Denver series, we got blown out in game 1, and if you name any team stat, it's an ugly number. 13 team turnovers, already surpassing our season average. 38% shooting, we allowed almost 30 plus points to Paul George. We couldn't do anything right after we started pretty solid. 14-8 for the Brow, one of the few guys helping us hang around. Kately, once again another abysmal star form, 3 of 10 shooting for 8 points. And I had 8 points, 5 assists, but 4 turnovers as well. Gotta cut those down, not only for myself, but for my teammates as well. And Paul George now past 30 points. Increasing the lead to 19. He can do no wrong tonight. Only 7 missed field goals for PG-13. We just need some solid offensive sets, looking to turn things around as I come off the screen wide open, and that is not the shot we were looking for. I'm under 20% from the 3-point line. I haven't taken many, but haven't made many either. 64-42 as we continue trucking along here in game 1. Kately a triple handoff, good screen from AD, and he's rolling again. Another lob finished off by AD with him not even looking at the basket. Another and one for the Brow. At this point in the ball game, we're just trying to stay competitive right now. The Clippers making so many threes as Paul George takes one here, no good, but the outlet pass by AD goes right to Serge Ibaka. What is going on with New Orleans here? Look at this. George misses the 3, big rebound by Davis, but I can't explain what happened there. Oh man, just another dumb turnover for a team that isn't known for any turnovers really, any turnover issues. So now we're down by 20 plus points. Kately off a screen. That one is money in the bank. Hopefully Kately can at least find some traction going into the next game if we can't come back and win. That's what it's all about, especially in the playoffs. Whenever you're getting blown out, you just got to keep your head in it, and maybe some positive plays here and there to end the game can lead into a nice Game 2 performance. And here we go. How about Otto Porter stepping up and hitting a 3, a 13-5 run for New Orleans as we trim the lead down to 13, but as we near the end of the third, I can trim it back down to 13 with a bucket here. I'm trying to take this one on Lou Williams again. Pump fake, little contested, off the glass, and it goes in. So a stroke of luck for our guys as we're down by 13 heading into the final period. And look at the Clippers mascot celebrating right in our face. How is that allowed? 90-73. Doesn't look like we're going to get the win today. Not a lot of time left as Paul George extends it to 20. Man, he's just on fire today as he approaches 40 points now. 105-84, just more of the same down the stretch here. I had a much better second half at least, and look at that pass. One of the many nice ones I had in here in the second half. Up to 10 assists to go along with my 22 points when Sean Holmes dunks one down. 109-88 will be your final. Once again, not much more we can say about another tough Game 1 performance as a team. So just like the Nuggets series, we're going to have to dig ourselves out of a hole again, but also like the Nuggets series, we had a pretty good second half to end things off, at least me personally. 14 points, 7 assists, only 1 turnover in the second half of play, so something to build off of, just like the affair with Denver. And hey, Game 2 we won by a pretty good margin against the Nuggets, so let's see if we can emulate that today. And Paul George, 39-11, got to do a better job on him. Taking a look around the league at the playoffs, we see that, how about this, Deshaun's Mavericks taking down Donovan's Trailblazers by a pretty wide margin. Donovan had 29-11 but didn't have much help, and meanwhile Deshaun played great, filled up the stat sheet again, and he had a lot of help from Porzingis, Jalen Brunson, and company. And of course Doncic with a triple-double, that only just added to the great win as a team. And as we look at the starting lineups, Marcos Silva, the hero from the Denver Nuggets series, he will swap places with Aaron Catley for Game 2. And I mean, hey, last series we swapped out Josh Hart for Otto Porter and it ended up going really well for us. So we're going to see if we can have the same success switching out our 2 guard with Luzada Silva. And here on the first possession, Serge Ibaka switches on to me after we get a stop, and now a hop step move through the paint as I finish with my off hand. So once again, I got the first points up on the board for the Pelicans for the second straight game. And as we see Paul George coming the other way, Anthony Davis is the one matching up for him as the 2 superstars go head to head for the first time in this series. And immediately Anthony Davis forces a steal. Otto Porter almost gives it right back, but we retake possession. And how about Luzada Silva? Off balance, absorbs the contact and finishes strong. Great start for New Orleans here in Game 2. Luzada Silva's been averaging 8 points a game here in the playoffs and also adding 6 rebounds a game while he's at it. Gotta love guards who can rebound the ball at a high level, but of course, who else other than Paul George will get the Clippers in the stat sheet for the first time today, now tied up at 4s as Otto Porter comes off a screen from Holmes, pops a 3, and now Otto Porter makes it rain from downtown. Porter coming off his first really bad game, to be honest with you, of the playoff series here in Game 1 of this series, allowing 39 points to Paul George, and on top of that, not shooting well himself. And check out that scoop layup, shovel that shot in, and we have another early lead. Porter's been averaging 6 points, 2 rebounds, 40% from the floor, and that 3 will help his 33% average from beyond the arc. So now down by 2 as Lou Will checks in for the Clippers. Meanwhile, Aaron Catley comes in for our guys, and now Lou Williams drives. I get a piece of that shot. Second chance is off. So a great stand underneath, stopping Lou Will, and a quick pass up to the short corner. Anthony Davis hits the shot there. Assist number 3 here in Game 2 without a single turnover so far. Gotta love that efficiency. 22-20 Clippers, but I tied up. Gotta love that drive. Whenever you get head and shoulders past your defender, that's when it's too late. That's when you gotta make them pay. 8 points for me, all 8 of those coming in the painted area. 22 apiece as now Lou Williams is out of control. He's having a tough start to this series, isn't he? Back up to AD. I find him in a similar spot as I just did a couple possessions ago out on the break, but instead of this time taking a jump shot, he'll use his physicality to finish over the Clippers defense. Now let's head to the second quarter. Marcus Morris, he'll launch. That one just rims out. And now we got more favorable numbers for the Pelicans as I work the ball to the corner. And then I reset. Quick screen from Anthony Davis as the paint is wide open if I can get in there. And that floater will drop over Kawhi Leonard. 38-35 Pelicans on top. And take a look at that start for me in this game. A lot better than Game 1, I can assure you of that. Up by 3 now. And check out Luzada Silva getting hacked by Pat Bev. And Game 2 was really the first time we saw some jippy plays, and Marcos Luzada Silva will draw the flagrant foul, and he'll knock down 1 of 2, and we'll retake possession as well. Luzada Silva so far in this playoff series. 7 points, 5 rebounds, 42% from the floor. Now up by 4, receiving another screen from AD. It's continuing to work very well in our favor. As Anthony Davis, it's been a while since we lobbed, so I wanted to throw him one right there. Cocking that thing way back for a 6-point lead, and he sends back Marcus Morris on the next possession. Luzada Silva with a head full of steam on Kawhi, and he puts him into a blender. Crossover, step back. Oh, Kawhi, where is he going? Marcos Luzada Silva, the young gun, shoots up, the defensive player of the year. Look at the baby cross, gets his shoulders turned, and then he over contests on the step back and blow by, and that jump shot was pure right in the face of Marcus Morris. What a memorable play there. Let's head to halftime with some momentum. 63-54 game right now, and just like the Denver series, your Pels have bounced back after game 1. A nice pick-me-up from the bench there to end the half, and we're up by 9, up near 60% as a team shooting, only 5 turnovers as a squad, and 36 points in the paint, which tells me our quality of shots has been much improved today, that's for sure. Good work from the line by Los Angeles has served valuable, however. They've made 15 free throws, and the foul situation is something to keep an eye on going forward. 3 personals on Luzada Silva, 2 on Rashawn Holmes, 2 on Okafor. Game 2 is the first time we've seen the Brow and PG-13 matched up on each other as well, and those two guys going back and forth, it's been an electrifying show for the fans at home. AD has 14, 6 boards, 2 blocks, and Paul George has tallied 18 with 4 assists. Kawhi Leonard and Reggie Jackson join George as the only 3 Clippers above 10 points, and for myself personally, in 16 minutes played, I've contributed 10, 5 assists, the turnovers are cut down from 4 at half last game to 2. Marcos Luzada Silva has 7 and 3 rebounds, and even though I haven't shared the floor with Caitley a lot today, he's still chipping in 9, 4 makes on 6 attempts. So in a similar fashion to Josh Hart, the move for Caitley to the bench has seemingly worked well for him today. So up by 9, first possession out here for the Pelicans on the offensive side of things. Otto Porter, good job moving without the ball. He's open to stroke it. That one just rims out, but Rashawn Holmes continues to be the backbone of this team. You want to talk about a guy who knows his role? That's Rashawn Holmes and what he does. How about 7.5 points, 4 offensive rebounds averaged, 12 total rebounds averaged for Rashawn Holmes, and a field goal percentage up near 60. And check this out. The New Orleans Pelicans with a bit of a wardrobe malfunction. All of a sudden, our accessories are all blue instead of red like they normally are, and what they were just a couple seconds ago. Well, what happened was I had that message in the bottom of my screen, like, what does it say? It says, please save and quit to the main menu to install an update. So I save and quit my League, went back in, so you didn't have the error message at the bottom of your screen, because I don't like the way it looks. It takes up too much screen real estate. But here comes Luzada Silva cutting me off real quick as he makes another 3. Clippers were on a run there, but now that silences it a little bit. But yeah, so I came back in and all of a sudden our accessories were all blue. So we'll roll with it. Wardrobe malfunction for New Orleans, but now with 4 seconds left, I'm getting trapped here. Bench unit on the floor, kick out to Caitley, flicks it up, and he had to get creative to get that off in time. A 3-pointer is swished through for Caitley, one of the most non-sequential threes you'll ever see. I guess that's the right way to put it. Now we're in the 4th quarter, up 13, and the defense continues to be stout. How about this pass over to Luzada Silva? Look at the move he puts on Luke Kennard. Ooh! How about Luzada Silva? And guess what? The highlight plays for MLS would only begin here in the 4th quarter. Let's see what he has in store for us down the stretch this game. As he comes up, sets a nice screen for Otto Porter, frees up his teammate a little off, but Luzada Silva stays after it, rips Pat Bev, and strokes it from 10 feet. Whether it's offense, defense, all of the above, Luzada Silva, man, his impact cannot be understated. It's so impressive. We are seeing a star in the making. And now, on defense, Otto Porter has had some struggles today shooting the ball, but on defense for him, it's been just how it's been the entire playoff run. A steal there, and how about a lob to MLS? Woo, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't know he had bunnies like that, but he shows them off and punches it down with the right hand. Marcos Luzada Silva playing out of his mind, and he's earned this starting role, I feel. 103-86, we're starting to coast this victory. Paul George struggling here in the tail half of this game. and I get a free lane to do some work. And that was pretty interesting how that went down, because I've attempted a lot of open jump shots today. Some of them haven't rimmed in, but a tough floater and that one dropped. So pretty interesting there. And now Luzada Silva bringing up the ball. He says, hey Fitz, I can pass like you can. Throws it up to Holmes, who punches it down with the offhand. 107-94, a couple more highlights to show. I get trapped here, and Josh Hart will pull and rim that three-pointer in. How about the team effort for New Orleans here in a rebound effort? 118-101, that's what we're talking about. And when the phrase team effort, team win, all of the above, when those phrases come to mind, I bet you picture something like tonight. 20 for AD, 18 for myself, 16 for MLS, Josh Hart 15, Kately 14, both those guys coming off the bench. Look how many players are in double figures for us. This was a wonderful performance through and through. Everybody made an impact. I finished with 18 and 11, 2 steals for myself, cut down my turnovers, and Paul George, while he had 30, a lot of those points came very late in the ball game. So taking a look at the rest of the playoff picture, Milwaukee and Philadelphia are tied up. The Brandon Ingram-led Miami Heat are down 2-0 against Boston. And in the upper half of the West, Donovan ties it up, 120-115, a close game. The Mavericks had a chance. Look at the effort by Deshaun. Just wasn't enough. It's so hard to beat Portland on their home floor. So that'll be it here for this episode. I'm tied 1-1 right now with the Clippers, and just like us, Deshaun and Donovan are both tied up 1 game apiece with each other. A lot of great playoff basketball action coming to you soon. I'm going to play the next 2 games of the series against the Clippers next time out. Hope you guys are excited, as we're going to be back in the Smoothie King Center to try to take this Clippers series. Win 2 more, and we're going back to the conference finals. We split these next 2 games against the Clippers, then we're going to be doing a live stream for the series deciding Game 5. And of course, if we get swept in these next 2 games, then we're going home early. Stay tuned for that here on College Sports Revived.